Hello everyone, I hope you're having an amazing Sunday and we have a lot of weather to talk about today. High pressure is dominating the East Coast, so we're seeing a lot of dry weather. The Southeast is continuing to see a lot of rain and floods in Texas. Extreme heat is building in the plains in the Midwest. Multiple rounds of severe weather are happening in the northern plains and the northern Midwest. Fire weather is happening in the Rockies, and it's pretty quiet in the West. Right now, our big story is the tropics. So right now, the National Hurricane Center has a 40% chance of development on the system. If you were here yesterday on my video, you could see that this cone was very uncertain, but now we're more certain that this will hit somewhere from Florida all the way up to the Outer Banks. And what ends up happening in the next few days could make or break a landfall. I'll explain that in a second. So right here are all the possible tracks that the European model has made. So as you can see, our system starts out over here, and these tracks vary from inside of this red line right here. So you can see there definitely still a lot of uncertainty. Yesterday, these tracks were kind of more like that for the whole entire cone. So there was really no clue where it was going to go yesterday. But now we know that if it does make landfall, it'll make landfall somewhere along these states right here. But as I said earlier, where the storm positions itself early will either make or break a landfall. So if this storm off the get-go tends to dig more south, then you can see it'll kind of hug the coast of Florida. And then once the Bermuda High that's right over here, this makes all the air go that way, circle around it like that. Once that takes effect, that'll swing it right into the Carolinas. But if this storm takes a more northerly track, then it will attach to that Bermuda High a lot faster. And that'll hopefully just push it out to sea and not affect anything but the fish. So if you are a fish, I would be very concerned if you live right there. Now, this is the same thing that you just saw on the other screen, except this is the American model. So the American model only has a couple runs that this low pressure system's actually picked up. So remember, there's still a possibility this doesn't even develop in the first place, which would be the best case scenario. But the American model says if it does develop, this is our cone that we're going to see. So right there, that's where the cone is. And I agree with that cone quite a lot, actually. Although I do feel like this needs to be extended a little bit further out because we don't know how north the system will go. So our main thing that we'll be looking for as this system is in the Caribbean is how far north it is. If it ends up taking like the farthest track north, then it will just drift off the sea and not worry anyone. But if it stays close to Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, then the US could be in for a long ride. There also still is the chance that it digs really far south and makes itself apparent in the Gulf of Mexico. So let's look at the two models that we were looking at earlier. So this is the European model, and we'll see what it thinks of this system. So the more purple, red, or yellow that these colors are, that's the higher that the winds are. And those L's that you see are low pressure systems. Our tropical wave is somewhere down there. So as we play this through, you can see the tropical wave is not that apparent, but it starts to show up as a low pressure system. And then as it is north of the Caribbean, you can see the winds really start to pick up on the system, but it doesn't really organize until it hits the Bahamas. Now it's really starting to organize, and you can see that this is heading up the coast. And luckily the European shows it not impacting the US all too much. Maybe some strong winds on the Outer Banks, but not much impacting the US. And then here's another very possible outcome. So this is the American model. Our tropical wave is down there. As you can see, not very organized, and then it kind of just gets ripped apart and doesn't do much of anything. As you can see, it kind of takes it into the Gulf of Mexico, but it doesn't really organize until it hits Louisiana, as it's just a tropical low pressure system. So either of those scenarios are very possible. Now, this is obviously not official. This is a graphic that I made. So this, instead of the National Hurricane Center being 7 days out, this is 10 days. And as you can see, I issued a 60% chance when the National Hurricane Center has a 40% chance, but mine is 3 days more out. And this is the cone where I think that it could develop. So this is our area of interest, this orange box right over here. So anywhere in this box is where it could develop. Here are our 2024 Atlantic hurricane names. So we've already gone through 3. We've gone through Alberto, Beryl, which I'm sure you all remember, and Chris. So our next name on the list is Debby, and that might be used by this system if it does develop. We've already had a Category 5 hurricane, and we're not even close to peak season yet. We still have way longer than a month until peak season. So our next name on the list is Debby, so watch out for Debby. In other weather news, we had Reed Timmer and some modest clouds. Now let's look at the high temperatures for everywhere the next week in the United States. So go ahead and find yourself on this map, and these are the high temperatures for today, Sunday. As you can see, the East Coast and the Tennessee and Ohio valleys continue to cool down and be in the low 90s or mid 80s. Also, parts of the Midwest start to cool down into the 80s because of some rain today. The Central Plains continue to heat up as they have some heat warnings. And per usual, very hot in Southern California. Everywhere else, it's around normal. For tomorrow, which is Monday, much of the same. Cooling down in the east still. Warming up in the plains. Cooling down in the Midwest. For Tuesday, July 30th, it is very, very warm in Kansas, 110 degrees in central Kansas. And the East Coast starts to warm up again. South Carolina's back in the 90s. Some parts of New York reaching the 90s again. And the westernmost Midwest is starting to heat up once again. Wednesday, July 31st, my birthday, the East continues to heat up. North Carolina and Virginia and Maryland now getting in on the 90s. All of the Midwest starts to heat up. The Mississippi River states start to heat up as well. And much of the same everywhere else. For Thursday, August 1st, as you can see, everywhere now is heating up besides from the northern Midwest. Friday, August 2nd, everywhere is continuing to warm up except for the Midwest. The Midwest should have a nice break this week as they should be in the 80s mostly everywhere. And August 3rd, which is Saturday, everywhere is heating up once again, all in the 90s or 100s everywhere besides for the Midwest. Here's where we should see rain today. So as you can see, you can definitely draw an area where we should be able to see rain. Everywhere from Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Iowa, Minnesota, all the way to Montana should see some rain. Also, portions of Arizona and New Mexico should see some rain. And Seattle should see a little bit of rain. For today and tomorrow's rain totals, the only difference is that now parts of the East Coast start to get down on the rain over here in North Carolina and the Appalachians. And then also the Northeast starts to get some rain as a subtropical low starts to make its way up. And per usual, Seattle's getting rain. Looking at our severe risk, we have a slight risk today for South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas. This is driven by a hail risk and driven by a significant wind risk in South Dakota. For tomorrow, we have two marginal risks for the Dakotas and also for portions of the Midwest. We could see a little bit of a wind bag, probably not a derecho though in the Midwest. This is actually driven by all hazards, so a 2% tornado risk, 5% hail risk, and a 5% wind risk. The Dakotas risk is just for hail and wind. And for Tuesday, we have a marginal risk across the Ohio Valley area, the Midwest, and the Dakotas. We could see another wind bag on this day. And then looking at next week, Sunday to Saturday, this is our temperature above average. So you can see everywhere should be above average in the United States. And then for precipitation next week, we should have above average precipitation on the East Coast and the Gulf states, below average in the plains, and above average in the West. That's really all for the video today. So if you did enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or any helpful criticism, be sure to let me know down below. And besides from that, that is all. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video.